I was strongly encouraged by a number of people who know that my interest is really, I have an interest in making sure that people are afforded the opportunity for housing, make sure that wherever they're living that is safe, that is clean, and I have worked as an advocate for renters, not formally the voice, but somehow I ended up being the voice for the voiceless, folks who are renting. Well, if anyone participated or listened in on the city council meeting that occurred, it's probably been a couple of weeks now, I spoke up during that meeting. I advocated for us having 2 additional people on that on our task force. And what I know from being a community activist is that problem solving starts from the bottom up. And if we're not including those folks that we're solving problems for, then the plan is not going to work. They're not going to have the buy-in. We have to have the lived experience to complete our task force. I've advocated for that. I've talked to our other members about it. I talked in city council about the need to have someone who has the lived we've got good expertise, a great deal of expertise, and we need that level of expertise to make this happen. But we don't have the expert in regard to renting. I agree, we're going to have subcommittees, and we'll have to because it's so complex. And we're going to have different components. You know, someone may be addressing the housing stock. Someone may be addressing the condition of the housing stock. One may be addressing the subsidies that are available for people that are out there and how they access them. But then others will be addressing just the median income types of homes and where they are and how we can build more of those, because there's a lot of those that are missing in this area as well. And I think the most important thing that I've had to stress is it's great and important to have them participate in subcommittees, but they have to have a voice at the table. There are so many problems, and we're not going to be able to address all the problems, but we're going to get a priority list because we've got to get some quick things handled. I just received a call 2 nights ago from a very good friend of mine whose rent had increased, I think maybe a couple of $100s, and she's been in these apartments for 10 months, and a couple of $100 doesn't sound much, but when she's gone through some professional types of changes and she's waiting to get her credential, which will allow her income to increase some. She's afraid to death that she's going to have to move out of this place that she's lived in, for her home, for 10 years because landlords see an opportunity. I get real frustrated when I think about that. But when you're looking at all these things balled up in one, then you get tenants who are at their breaking point. You get tenants who may not have any support to live anywhere else. They will not advocate because they're afraid they're going to be evicted. You've got black mold, and you've told your landlord several times, and they paint over it. That doesn't do anything for black mold, especially when the tenant starts feeling that they're, getting a little bit sick. Mm-hmm. But those are some of the extremes, but it's a pattern. And the pattern now is if you can't afford to pay the new rent that we're going to increase then you have to leave.